Attention altcoin holders. If you hold altcoins, this video is going to potentially make you a substantial amount of money and save you even more. It's going to be one of the biggest cheat codes you've ever seen in the altcoin market. And it's going to be one of the most simplest things that you've ever seen represented in the entire altcoin market. It's going to be so easy, even a 3-year-old can look at the screen and tell you exactly when you should take profits in your favorite altcoins. It's going to be a magnificent cheat code that you're going to want to share with as many people as you can. Now, we're going to cover this cheat code. I'm going to break it down step by step, and you're going to leave this video with a sense of clarity and calm and a dominating strategy of when to take profits in your favorite altcoins. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Steve. I quit my job over 13 years ago. Been traveling the world since, thanks to my trading and investing skills. Join me for sponsorship-free TA with genuine value that actually works. Subscribe. Here we are on the total market cap for cryptocurrency. The total market cap, we are on the 2-month chart. And what I wanted to share with you is in the bottom of our screen, we have the Stochastic RSI. Middle of the screen, we have the RSI. Top of the screen, we have price action. What we notice about our price action is we have ridiculously strong market structure. This is the 2018 top. This is the bottom of the market. Here we are with resistance near the top of the market where we had some resistance before. However, when you break it down with specifically the Stochastic RSI, something obvious shoots out at you. It could be one of the simplest rules, yet one of the most powerful, dominating rules you can ever have in your charts for the rest of time. I can sit here and we can draw all sorts of lines, backwards, forwards, arrows. We can have trend lines. We can have indicators on top of indicators. We can overcomplicate things. It's so easy to overcomplicate things. But the simplest rules are the most powerful rules any industry on planet Earth. Now, think about life lessons. Do you remember life lessons that are so complicated and there's all these intertwined stories laid on top of each other? Or do you remember the simplest life lessons there are? Which ones are more powerful? Which ones do you remember? Which ones do you use? You use the simple ones, just like all the humans. So I have the simplest rule I want you to use. We could talk about the RSI, but we're not even going to. I'm just going to eliminate this from today's video. We're going to talk about just price action, and we're going to talk about the Stochastic RSI. Now, let's give a couple lessons on the Stochastic RSI so that you understand it, and I'm going to tell you the simplest rule ever that will make you a lot more money and save you even more. So the simplest things I want you to understand about the Stochastic RSI, it starts at a range of 0 and it goes up to a range of 100. 100 is when we are completely out of momentum. The indicator quite literally cannot go above 100. It can only go up to 100 and then sometimes move sideways at 100 and ultimately fall back down because we are out of momentum. Once we are out of momentum, price can't rise anymore. We're literally out of momentum. Usually when we have the orange line on top, we're bearish and price goes down, hence the price going down dramatically here and the price going down dramatically here. When the blue line is on top, we are bullish and price quite literally goes up, just like it did all through here and all through here. It's a simple thing, especially on the 2-month scale, but it gets even simpler than that. When the altcoin market or the total crypto market is on fire, we obviously see price rise, and it rises almost every day, and everyone's at the edge of their seat and they're waiting for substantially higher prices, which ultimately never come. What happens at every single market top is the high majority of people think we're going substantially higher and we never do. And everyone wants to know, well, how do I know the top is in? How do I know when to take profits? That's when we can overcomplicate things. We can draw all sorts of things on the charts and try to decipher it. But the simplest lessons will prevail time and time again. Tilt your phone to the side and subscribe. Case in point, the Stochastic RSI has entered the chat. And when you see prices going up and up and up and up. And you're like, when is this thing going to stop? I want to take profits, but I don't want to miss out on any profits because what if we shoot up 25% tomorrow? I'm going to feel like an idiot. You felt that way, right? Enter the stochastic RSI on the 2-month chart. Knowing the little information you know so far about it, here's the rule. When we go up and up and up and up in price and you're like, when is this thing going to stop? You look for a stochastic RSI cross down. Now, we can agree or we can argue a bunch of different things, but we cannot argue the fact that at this specific point right here is when we had the orange line cross down and the orange line is now on top. We can argue and debate all sorts of things about crypto and when the top is going to be, but we cannot argue that right here, the orange line crossed on top. We can't debate that. That's a fact right in front of our eyes. What we also know at exactly this point, that was the best time to take profits. Was at exactly this cross down. And by the way, it wouldn't have become official until the next candle right here, which is even better in our case. But at that time, there is no debate that the orange line is on top for one of the first times. And we cannot debate that that was in fact the best time to take profits. And again, at that time in the market, nobody thought the top was in. Everyone thought it was substantially higher. That's what happens at every top. It would be roughly 75 to 85% of the humans saying significantly higher. And then there'll be a couple rejects that are screaming the opposite, that everyone's like, those people are morons. Don't listen to them. And they end up being right. But instead of guessing or who's right, who's wrong, you take all of the guesswork out and you look at this indicator and you say, orange line on top, selling. Period. Now let's go to the next market cycle and see how true that came to be in the next market cycle. So we had our bottom here. We started rallying to 14K, which was completely unsustainable. Then we crashed back down, COVID crash. We had a double bottom. And by the way, we're on a 2-month chart here. So gotta love this candle. I covered it right here on our channel. This is a Dragonfly Doji, thin body at the top, long lower wick. You know the story. This is where we had an absolute explosion in price. And luckily, I am the one who sat here and told you that this is the opportunity to buy. Bitcoin needed to double bottom. Then we had an explosion in price. When we had an explosion in price, you can see our blue line here, an absolute domination. What you want to look for is a cross down above this 80 level. So we had the blue line get all the way up. It got up to 100. It started going sideways for a whole bunch of months at 100. Then we had a cross down. When we had this cross down, nobody believed the top was in. Go watch any videos from that time period. Everybody was saying 100K is next, guaranteed, but probably $250,000. That's what the whole discussion in the crypto space was. And then there was a couple rejects that were like, I beg to differ. I think the top is in. And everyone's like, oh, those people are morons. But instead of guessing, instead of trying to speculate, just go based on facts. Tilt your phone to the side and subscribe. We had the cross right here. We can't debate that. That's literally what happened. It didn't confirm until here when we were way out with the orange line was clearly on top and the blue line was pointed down. The orange line had already crossed and this was our first top. And we can dig into the price. It happened on this candle. You may say, well, didn't we go up a couple dollars? If you are going to risk your portfolio and potentially making a couple more dollars, you shouldn't be in crypto. That's a tremendous amount of greed and you're going to get destroyed. You're never going to become successful with that mindset. Nobody is going to take profits at exactly the top. Nobody. And if you're trying to do that, you're going to be trying the rest of your life. There's no professional traders that have that mindset. Why? It's not realistic. So what you want to do is simply take some profits off the table when we have that stochastic RSI cross on a 2-month time frame. Eliminates all the guesswork, maximizes your profits, minimizes your risks, and the rest is history. So where are we at today? Because things are starting to look pretty interesting. Where we're at today is we had a cross up right at the market bottom, which by the way happens every single time. Another huge hidden secret here. Look at this cross up happened right here, right at the market cycle bottom. These are things that nobody is telling you because nobody studies these higher time frames. It's everybody, is mainly focused on the daily time frame, which we spend zero amount of our energy and effort on the daily time frame. You're not going to watch any of my videos focus on the daily time frame. You're just not. It's just not a thing we do. When you look at it, you can say, okay, Bitcoin clearly had a cross here, blue line on top, Steve said, means bullish. We actually had a skyrocket in price as soon as we had the blue line on top. And we have entered into this area of getting really at the 100. We are at the 100 now in what's called our fast line. The stochastic RSI is made up of a blue and an orange line. The blue line is actually referred to as our fast line, and the orange is actually our slow line. Our fast line's already at 100, which, by the way, is where we were at back at this time period. We were already at 100 when Bitcoin was where? When Bitcoin was at its prior all-time high was when we got to 100. Where are we at now? Bitcoin is at our prior all-time high and we are at 100. Is that a coincidence? No. What happens with charts is we have repeatable patterns. Why? Because humans are very predictable. Why? Because of emotion. Once you understand that, you understand the rules to the game that you have been playing your whole life, but nobody told you the rules. You're playing a game against humans that are highly emotional, and because of that emotion, they're very, very, very predictable. Because of that, every single cycle that Bitcoin has is precisely the same. So what are we looking at here? Well, back in the day, we were at our prior all-time high at that key level of market resistance. We got up to 100 and we were able to have a couple more months in there to scoot up past, make a new all-time high, and then we had a cross down because we had no more momentum to go up. It's really that simple. So here we are today at our prior all-time high with huge levels of resistance at the 100 level. Well, what you're going to need to do in order to take profits is really set your emotion to the side. That's the only way to win this game. Because when we do have a cross down on this 2-month time frame, nobody's going to think the top is in. You're going to see at least 75 to 85% of people that are polled in any poll. You can look at anybody's poll. It will all be the same. The high majority of people will be screaming for numbers that are significantly higher from wherever we end up being at that time period. And you are going to need to trust the charts, not your emotion. And if you're able to do that, you're going to be ahead of the high majority of humans that are playing the same game as you. Share this with as many people as you can. That is a trick to make you a lot more money and save you even more. Hit that subscribe button. Do you want less stress and more success in crypto? Click this video right now.